from my kids. And I'll never again swing through the McDonald's drive-up and get a great big hot cup of coffee on the way. Carlucci thought, that sigh was too sincere. Every little thing Terry Bolton notices that isn't here anymore. Tupperware to movies to McDonald's. All those little things are just wearing him down. His added thought, nothing I can do about it, made him sad, so he was too bluff and hearty when he finally spoke. One short, nasty job, Terry, and then you can go back to being your usual sunny, jolly self. Montez, riding drags, snorted. They clopped along at a steady walk. Except for their lantern, the only light was the stars and the distant beacon on Castle Castro. It had been too damp to desiccate bodies and not cold enough to freeze them. Chula Vista and National City smelled like spoiled hamburger. Maybe now that Bambi's the freeholder at Castle Castro, we'll be able to do something about all the unburied bodies. She'll be more cooperative than her father was, anyway. Pre-dawn glowed bruise purple. Bixler doused the lantern. A light sea breeze chilled them but dragged away the smell. The horses moved more confidently. Bolton shivered. I didn't even own a coat before daybreak. Well, the scientists in Pueblo say there's more carbon dioxide in the air than any time recorded. So once the soot settles, you'll forget frozen dead palm trees and complain about San Diego being like Baja used to be. Lying in a lawn chair on the beach with a chilled beer, Bolton said. Let's skip to that part right now. They rode on through the dark, wet cold. At least there was no sleet. This Christmas sucks ass, but giving birth in a stable in the winter probably really sucked too. Bad analogy. If we were in that story, we'd be working for Herod. Half an hour later, dawn greased the tops of the old office buildings and hotels, the abandoned Navy ships across the bay, and the few remaining power poles. This close to the castle, the streets were cleared of rubble and cars, and every standing storefront was walled up. 4 men in Castle Castro uniforms appeared around a corner. The leader waved. Mr. Carlucci. Hey, Donald. Miss Castro said to come out and meet you. She didn't say what it'd be about, so I figure I'm not supposed to ask. They swung north to follow the line of sealed buildings linked by the castle's outer wall. Bolton said, This wall must have been some work. Yeah, especially without no power tools, but I'm real glad it's there. Last summer when the awakening dolphins attacked, we had to crowd up in the keep for 3 weeks, and we lost lots of garden beds we could be eating from now. I like having some room inside the walls if we need it, especially since we're up to 8,000 people now. The guards on the towers at the big gate waved them through Z-form barriers wide enough for a pre-daybreak semi. Fishing boats were pulled up for the holiday on the beaches of the old luxury hotels, which had been mostly torn down for materials to build the walls. Just for today, no one tended the vegetable beds on the old lawns. Picks and shovels were stacked by the parking lots. Tomorrow would be soon enough to resume breaking them up. Across the hills just north of the harbor, behind what remained of the chain-link fence that had marked Harrison Castro's estate back before, the inner wall reared up yards higher than the outer wall. Wheelbarrows, piles of blocks, and stacked tools waited beside its remaining gaps. You build the outer wall first? Mr. Castro said the outer wall was what would really matter, because if it held, we could stand a siege. This wall's just a backup. Miss Castro says she can't plan nothing better than her dad could, so we're staying on his plan. Carlucci said, Miss Castro? Not Countess Castro or Mrs. Larson? Just habit. I drove the limo that brought her here the day she was born. Most people in the castle call her the Countess now. Bambi Castro did not look very countess-like in thick soled moccasins, a black baggy sweater, and jeans, with her long black hair pinned up close. She looked more like what she had been 14 months before, a young fed.